Ever get that feeling like you're, meant for something more? Like there's got to be some kind of bigger purpose to all this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's something I think a lot of people grapple with.
Yeah, and today we're gonna dive deep into that whole idea of finding your purpose in life. We're taking a look at this podcast episode called How to Know Your Life Purpose. It's from the Lifelens Talks Podcast, and it's
really good. I've listened to it a few times, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I thought it was super insightful too.
Yeah.
So we're basically gonna break down all the key points and hopefully help you guys figure out how to find your own purpose,
Yeah, it's not always easy to, sift through all the noise and figure out what really matters.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What does this podcast episode actually say about what life purpose is?
Well, they describe it as this guiding principle, that thing that shapes all your choices and the impact you have on the world.
Right. It's not just about you, it's about how you fit into the bigger picture.
And what I found interesting is that they emphasize how it's not this fixed destination.
Yeah.
Your purpose can totally evolve over time.
Oh, so it's not find your purpose and you're done. It's more fluid than that.
Totally. Yeah, it changes as you grow and learn and your priorities shift. It's kind of cool when you think about it.
Definitely makes it less intimidating.
For sure.
So the podcast also talks about passions and strengths playing a big role. They suggest actually writing down 2 lists. One for everything you're passionate about and another for all your skills.
Yep, and then you see where those lists overlap, where your passions and strengths kind of intersect.
Ah, okay. So maybe you love animals and you're really good at organizing things. Could that point towards something like running an animal shelter?
Exactly. Or maybe you're super passionate about teaching and you have a knack for public speaking. Maybe your purpose lies in being an educator or a motivational speaker.
I see. It's not just about what you love, it's about how you can use your talents to make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. It's like finding that sweet spot where your passion, your skills, and a sense of purpose all come together.
Makes sense. No, one thing that really resonated with me was their emphasis on looking beyond ourselves. Thinking about the impact we want to have on the world.
Yeah, they ask this question, what change do you want to see in the world? It really gets you thinking about your legacy and what you want to leave behind.
That's a big question, though. How can one person actually make a difference on a global scale?
And the episode actually addresses that. They're not saying everyone needs to cure cancer or solve world hunger.
Ew.
It's more about figuring out what issues matter to you and finding ways to contribute, no matter how small those contributions might seem.
So it could be anything from volunteering at a local soup kitchen to reducing your carbon footprint.
Right. The point is to align your actions with something bigger than yourself. And that's where purpose really starts to shine through.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not about the scale of the impact. It's about connecting your actions to something meaningful.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that impact can take so many different forms. What matters is that it feels authentic to you. One thing I really liked is how the podcast encourages people to experiment. It's not about having it all figured out from the start.
Oh, yeah. They're all about embracing the detours.
Exactly. And they even share this story about someone who went to med school, spent years training to be a doctor.
And then realized it wasn't for them.
Yeah. They ended up becoming a medical illustrator instead, totally switched gears.
Wow. That's a big change.
But the point is, they found something they were truly passionate about. And now they're super successful and way happier.
So it's okay to try different things even if they seem totally random.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Volunteering, taking classes, picking up a new hobby, all of that can help you figure out what you're really meant to do.
Because you never know what might spark your interest or uncover a hidden talent.
Right. And sometimes those detours actually lead you right where you need to be.
No, the podcast also talks about listening to your inner voice, which I think is easier said than done sometimes.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and forget to check in with yourself.
Totally. They suggest incorporating mindfulness practices like meditation and journaling.
I'm not great at meditation myself, but journaling, that I can do.
Me too. They even have some cool journaling prompts in the episode, right?
Oh, yeah. There's one that asks, what makes you feel most alive and energized? And another that's if you could leave one positive mark on the world, what would it be?
Those are good. I'm going to have to try those out. But what about when you've tried all that and you still feel lost? You haven't found your purpose yet?
Well, the podcast emphasizes that it's a journey, not a destination. It takes time and there's no rush.
I think it's easy to compare ourselves to others and feel like we're falling behind.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But everyone's path is different and it unfolds at its own pace.
Right. So we just got to trust the process.
Exactly. And remember those moments of uncertainty or setbacks? They can actually be valuable learning experiences.
So instead of getting discouraged, we should see those challenges as opportunities for growth.
Yeah, it's all part of the journey.
Ah,
And sometimes those detours lead to the most amazing discoveries.
it's like you don't have to have everything figured out right this second.
Yeah, it's more about like being open to the journey,
Embracing the unknown.
Totally. They even talk about shifting your focus from finding the answer to just like being present in the process of discovery.
So instead of stressing about what's my purpose, it's more about what can I do today that feels meaningful.
Yeah, like what aligns with your values and makes you feel good.
Right, it's about those small steps.
Yeah, exactly. And they actually share this quote that I thought was really powerful. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. The meaning of life is not simply to exist to survive, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's about like taking action,
Not just waiting for your purpose to magically appear.
Right, you got to go after it. Experiment, grow, push yourself.
And remember, this is your own personal journey. So no comparing yourself to other people.
Everyone's path is different, and it unfolds in its own time.
All right, deep divers. Let's do a quick recap of everything we've learned about finding your purpose.
Sounds good.
So we started by defining purpose as that guiding principle that shapes our choices and our impact on the world.
We talked about how passions and strengths can point us in the right direction, especially when they overlap.
We also explored the idea of impact and how it doesn't have to be this huge, grand thing. It's about connecting your actions to something bigger than yourself.
And we can't forget about experimentation, embracing those detours, listening to our inner voice.
Oh, and patience. That's a big one.
For sure. Give yourself time and be kind to yourself.
Because it's all about those small steps, those little things you do each day that make you feel fulfilled.
And if you're ever feeling lost, just remember, the meaning of life is not simply to exist, but to move ahead, to go up, to achieve, to conquer.
Love it. So what small step can you take today to move towards your purpose?
Maybe it's journaling, trying something new, talking to someone who inspires you.
Whatever it is, just trust that you're on the right path, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
And enjoy the journey.
That's the most important part. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into life purpose.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light.